Hey guys, it's Lizzie, aka the Lizard Bee if you know me from Instagram. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I decided to start this channel because I really want to share my art journey with all my friends and family and anybody else out there who is struggling to learn art but doesn't have money to go to school, like me. The struggle is real. So yeah, thanks for watching. And my first video today is going to be a self-critique of a painting that I actually recorded myself drawing back in January or February. So that's right, y'all, it's a speed paint. Okay guys, so first I just want to kind of explain my process and inspiration here. Don't know if you can hear, but I'm recording outside, so there's a whole lot of cicadas in the background. Please just try to bear with me on that. Anyways, so I wanted to do this painting after I was watching one of Laura Price's tutorials on how she makes background paintings. For those of you who don't know her, she's this amazing background painter working for, I believe, Disney and Nickelodeon. She worked on Tangled the series, and she's just makes these really great tutorials on YouTube. I will link her video that I referenced below. So when I set out to do this, I mainly had a picture of something mountainous, something foresty. That's really where I was focusing my inspiration. Also maybe somewhere in Asia, just because I'm really drawn to those temples. You'll see I added a temple here, and I love those kinds of temples with the unique architecture and all that. So on the left, you'll notice I flicker on and off. I have what a lot of artists call an inspiration board. And so it's just a collection of a bunch of reference photos that we're not actually referencing, because usually when we say reference, that means, you know, we're using it to help. How do I explain? Like if I want to draw a chair, for example, well, then maybe I need a reference photo of a chair. So I'll go take a picture of a chair or find a picture of a chair, and then I will draw that chair in with the rest of my drawing. But an inspiration board, it's just meant to inspire you. So you're still drawing from your imagination, but you're generally kind of looking at those elements within your inspiration photo and then figuring out, how am I going to bring that together in my painting? And you'll also see throughout the video, I pop over to Google as well to get general additional reference kind of on things like the mountains or things like that. But for the most part, my goal here was to rely on myself, my imagination, and my existing drawing skills, or lack thereof, just as much as I could. Okay, so going into the critique here, there's so much to say about this piece. I'm going to start with 3 good things. One is, I just really love the texture I made for the rocks. I spent a long time trying to figure out, okay, what's a good brush to make this look nice and pretty, but also, how can I make these look realistic? And I like the idea of that kind of that stone where it's not smooth, but it's not jagged rock. And I also like the idea of the moss on the rocks. I think that looked really great. I think I did a good job capturing that. So, it's kind of like Donkey says, like, damn, that's a nice boulder. My second favorite part of this is the waterfall leading down to the pool with the girl and her flowing locks of hair, and she's bathing in the hot spring. I put a lot of effort into really trying to make that look right, if that makes sense. You know, I wanted to get the shadows in the water and the movement of the water and the little bits of water droplets flying off the waterfall. So I was really proud of that. I really liked the way it looked at the end of the day. And finally, the last thing that I really loved about this was it's the plants themselves. I think I did really good with the plants. I had a variety of plants in there, mainly around the hot springs, and I think they looked realistic. They looked really nice. They've got by the end of this painting, I think they've got really good texture. I spent a lot of time focusing on how to get them right, and I think it's great because they look realistic but not too realistic, so it goes for that nice happy medium that you try to aim for when you're illustrating or drawing for animation. One thing though, probably mainly with the bushes, you'll probably notice me toggling a reference to a tutorial that I found, and I'm going to link that below because it was a really great tutorial. Can't remember off the top of my head right now which artist it was that made that, but again, I'm going to link that below so that you can find it because it was really helpful, and I have been able to draw amazing bushes since then, so thank you to the kind artist who made that. Okay, moving on to things I could have done better. Oh man, there's a lot that I would improve about this painting. I will say I learned so much, and I'm really proud of that because that was the goal with this painting. That was the most important thing, and I did that. And I think that I've been a better artist since I made this painting almost 6 months ago now, because I did it. I stuck to it, and it was really hard. I think I must have spent probably a total of like 24 or 30 hours on this painting or something ridiculous. And a lot of that wasn't even drawing itself. It was taking a lot of breaks. For example, looking at that girl's tutorial on making the bush, for example, things like that, and taking time to just sit and think and figure out, okay, how am I going to do this? So for actual improvement, I've got to say there's just no composition here. You know, when you look at this painting, where are you supposed to look? What is the point of it? What am I supposed to be looking at? And I think it's because as I was drawing, I was kind of envisioning maybe more of a focus on the temple, but then once I actually got into painting, I was like, oh no, I really like this hot spring and everything going on down here, and this girl in the hot spring, and the temple is supposed to be far away. I didn't even render much detail on it. You can't see what's going on. And that really changed. Because of that, then there wasn't a clear focus. So when you look at it, it's like, do you look at the hot spring or do you look at the temple? And the way that the other cliffs and trees frame everything, it's really not clear. So definitely need to have thought that out better in the future. That's definitely something that I really need to take the time to sit and think about going forward. Next thing is the perspective, and that kind of plays into the composition as well, because I didn't have a clear plan for the composition. I couldn't have a clear plan for the perspective, and so it's not horrible, but it doesn't look right, especially if you look at that front cliff, it's like, what is going on there, and like how close is that, and is that tree like sticking out of the side of the cliff, or is that like a flat? Like it really, really doesn't look right at all. And then the other thing too is atmospheric perspective. When you're way up in the mountains like this, especially if you've got a hot spring, there's supposed to be steam coming off of it. There's gonna be atmosphere that you can see. The mountains that are further away, you're not gonna see in so much detail. They're gonna kind of fade out. Since I've done this painting, I've actually learned a lot about how to do atmospheric perspective, so probably going forward, I will be better at that, hopefully. We'll see when I do this again. I don't know. And let's see, the next thing, the last thing is just these trees. Man, if you look at the way I did these trees, I couldn't decide what style of trees I wanted or how I wanted to draw them. And I went for this really kind of cartoony look, just this style that I wanted to play around with, which is fine, because that was the point of this painting. It was to learn, which means that I can experiment, and ultimately I can say that that experiment failed. The trees, they don't look right, they don't blend into the rest of the painting, you know, again, not very good perspective and the way they're oriented. So just a lot of things that I could have improved there. And finally, you know, there's just not great texture on the trees. They don't pop, they don't look as lifelike and as accurate as the other plants do or the rocks do. So I was pretty disappointed with how those came out, because in the moment I was pretty excited about them, and nope. But all in all, I'm still really proud of this piece, just for everything I learned from it and what I've been able to apply to my pieces going forward. So even if it's not great, it's already really helped me a lot in the next pieces I've made, which if you guys go check out my Instagram @thelizardbee, you can see all the pieces I've made. That's pretty much the main place I post my art. Sometimes I'm on Twitter or Tumblr. So what about you guys? What do you think? Let me know in the comments if you agree with my critiques, if there's something I didn't mention that you think I could improve. And hey, if you want me to critique some of your art, I am totally happy to help out. Feel free to shoot me a message via my Instagram. And a special shout out to my friend Max Sherlow for giving me a couple of pointers on how to even edit YouTube videos. I could not have made it through this first video without him. And a second special shout out to my dad for helping me fix my computer also so that I could edit this video. guys so much for following along with my deep inner reflection there. And of course, if you guys like the video, consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. Bye!